Hello there everyone, and welcome to my video guide walkthrough for Ninja Gaiden 2 on Master Ninja difficulty, the hardest difficulty available. It's unlockable after you beat Mentor difficulty, so clear that difficulty, then you'll be able to access this difficulty. It's extremely tough, mercilessly difficult, and immediately we're faced with these guys who spam attacks here. So the IS ninjas. Your best bet on these guys is, since we can't Azuna drop, even though that's not a good option here, is to guillotine throw. And you can also do the wind path off these guys' heads. That's performed by jumping anywhere around them and just pressing the A button to jump on them. The guillotine throws performed by pressing X and A. So that's a very difficult part on this mode of play. And it's one that a lot of people just give up on right away, and I encourage you to just stick with it and just keep retrying that part. You can't do the Azuna drop. Oh, by the way, here, you definitely want to manually save your progress. Don't do the autosave. It's going to mess you up because you're going to need to restart and have different save files in case you mess up. This part here, there's 3 of these gray ninjas there, and I got a really good parry there. It's difficult to get that parry, and the risk is very high. Like I said, there's 3 of these gray ninjas that'll run up the stairs, and then there's also an archer. And sometimes when you die, the archer will disappear, and that leads me to my next point, where a lot of the times in this game, if you don't want to face enemies, there's a good chance that if they're stationary enemies, you can run back, just retrace your steps, and then they will disappear. This large group of enemies right here is easily taken out with a good UT. I'm not going to be spamming UTs unless my hand is forced in this game, which it probably will be a lot of the times, but I'm going to be trying to bring you a wide arrangement, a lot of versatility in my gameplay. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to improve as a player. I'm trying to help everybody succeed in beating this difficult game, because it's I think it's one of the most the hardest game I've ever played, pretty much. Anyone who thinks that Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 is harder than this game is either deluded or simply hasn't played this game on Master Ninja mode. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but it's just like a plague. Wiped out most of the enemies in Sigma 2, and here all the difficulty, all the stakes are raised to, excessive degrees here. Like every part in Sigma 2, every comparable part in Sigma 2 compared to this game, I would say about 90 to 95% of every part in Sigma 2 is 5 to 10 times harder here. So watch how I'm going to unspawn these guys, because this is kind of cheap here. So you see, there's the 4 archers across the way, and what I did was there's going to be an edit here, and watch these guys disappear. The reason they disappeared is because I backtracked all the way near the gate that opens after you clear the first wave of enemies, and you notice those 4 archers disappeared. I'm not going to be doing that a whole hell of a lot, but some parts, they're just really cheap, and if you can get a couple of guys out of the way, because it's important to not take as much. You want to not take that much damage in this game. It's very crucial to do so. Always parry. We can't do the Azuna drop quite yet. This is not any kind of new game plus. This is a brand new campaign on Master Ninja mode. I always like to do this. I like to get the orbs, do an instant charge here, and get as much money as you possibly can. That is the best way to get the most money, to do a red to do a red UT, and then just let the money come into you. Don't absorb it. Or that way you'll get only a fraction of the amount you would ordinarily get, because you're penalized for expediting your next charge, and they only give you a little bit of money. I'm going to be getting all the chests in this game. They load a lot faster than they do in Sigma 2, so that's the reason I'm going to be getting them. read the full description from my guide because I took a lot of time to write it. I'm going to be an item like this, an Art of the Inferno. It's all going to be included in my item manifest and event log. I'm going to be getting all the crystal skulls because I saved them for this mode of play. I didn't acquire them in my other 2 campaigns on Warrior and Mentor difficulty. So right here, I was actually trying to bust open the jars to expedite a charge. I did it right there. Sometimes you can get a lot more money instead of collecting the money from the jars. To just open the jars and then use the yellow essence to expedite a red charge. It's a really good idea. So yeah, this is going to be a really good guide. I'm looking forward to it. This game pays a lot of deference to what Ninja Gaiden stands for. It's very respectful, and it venerates this game and this whole franchise in a way that's really extremely respectful. I mean, they did a lot of good things with this game. Some areas need improvement, but for the most part, this game is a lot better than Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, but that means it's a lot harder too. So, because this is the original game, and for the longest time, I never really gave this game a chance. Now I'm giving it my full attention, and I'm addicted to it. It's one of the finest games I've ever played before. So I'm using Ninpo here. How Ninpo works in Ninja Gaiden is that if you're low on health and you have Ninpo and you don't have any healing items, it's a really good idea to use Ninpo to increase the probability of getting health drops, those blue essence orbs. You're not always guaranteed to get them, but the likelihood that you'll get them increases. So I used all those orbs. Now I'm going to go over here and pick up this item here, the Lives of the Thousand Gods. Very important. We're going to be acquiring quite a lot of Lives of the Thousand Gods. They can act as healing items later in the game. So what you want to do is I don't know what the best advice would be for that, but probably use about half of them. Save the other ones for healing items because they completely refill your health, and they're just extra health items later on in the game on very extremely difficult parts. So, I mean, you could apply it if you wanted to right away, but on this mode of play, I mean, if you get grabbed, you're going to get killed no matter how much health you have. I mean, that little the quarter inch of health that you get from the Lives of the Thousand Gods really isn't going to save you, so there's no real point to use it. I will probably be applying about half of the number of Lives of the Thousand Gods. I believe there's 9 in this game, so two or three of which are on the Tests of Valor, and I'll be discussing those later. This spawn occurs right here, and one more step, and then go back, and then there's going to be 3 gray ninjas. I tried to land down here, and at this point in the level, I was trying to get health. So I was just trying to kill these guys in a normal fashion. You will never get health drops by doing ETs, which is the first level charge, or UTs, which is the second level charge, because the game knows that when you're doing those attacks, you're trying to grind for money or farm for essence, however you want to consider it. But just do know that you'll never get blue essence from either an ET or a UT. You only get those from straight kills or casting Ninpo. So anyway, we took care of those 3 guys, and you will notice that the archer who was up there flanking or staying in the background, he's gone now. And we have a very difficult section ahead here with a lot of... I didn't want to go on that pole, that accursed pole here. So I like to stand about right there and then get a UT going here. And okay, so on this fight, you want to use. See, I didn't have much health here. I only had 1 healing item, so I decided to use quite a lot of Ninpo. In fact, every Ninpo I had. But there are so many enemies in this game that it's just sometimes it just gets to be a real drag. Saw an opportunity to jump down here, but what you want to do though is also when these guys stick you with these guys, I call them melee ninjas. They're also called IS ninjas, so I'll probably be calling them IS ninjas. When they stick you with the shurikens, to get out of that and not take damage, you want to do an OT or cast Ninpo will get you out of it. Those are two really good ways to get out of that, because otherwise you can't help but just take the damage. Also, if you're at the cusp of doing the Azuna drop and you have one of those, well, you probably couldn't get away with it there, but I will be going, once I get the Azuna drop, then I will be going over it. But there's a ton of things to say about this game, and that's the last foe actually, and then we're going to hit the save point. But yes, like I said, there's a ton of things to say about it, but there's plenty of time to cover everything. Didn't want to go on that damn pole again. I'm going to grab this scroll. I'm going to be grabbing all these scrolls. They're just, please read the description because it's a very thorough description. I will be getting every item, but there's some contingencies about that. So hit the save point. Okay, so this next part is extremely difficult, and just try doing this part without any items like I had to do it here. I did get an item drop. I got a Ninpo drop, and it was debatable whether or not that made me win here. But I would have played this section until I won. There's the item drop. Definitely helped. So if you are struggling, you want to have not used too much Ninpo. If you did use too much Ninpo like I did, you're just going to have to do your best. In this game, you have to perform well all the time. You see the red area in the health bar? That's permanent damage. Those are mortal wounds that the auto regeneration when you win a battle. See right there, it just filled up to the red mark. That's all you're going to get. So you got to not receive too much permanent damage in this game. And here I was backtracking to save it, and I was showing you that it's extremely important to save it whenever you think you need to do so. I can't tell you when you need to save it. I would, general advice is to do it after every difficult battle in this game and just go back and save it. Here's another really bad fight. We got 4 or 5 of these IS ninjas here. I kind of did some bold attacks right there because I knew I had something to fall back and save it on. I'm even going to go back and save it now after I get the Life of the Gods over here, which is the first one of 18 that exist in the game. I'll be getting them all. They'll all be logged in the event log and item manifest. So check that out if you need any missing items. I'll be getting everything in this game. It's just extremely important not only to do well, but to get a lot of money. And up here, there's an opportunity to exploit enemies that never stop spawning up here, and I'll be showing you how to do so. It's a lot. A lot of this game involves you have to have a lot of money, right? So you could either bankroll a lot of money, which I'm going to be doing, or just try not to use too many items, which is really hard on this game because we got all these melee ninjas and they're taking away our health constantly. And we're getting killed so easily here, but so what I did was I grinded for money, so I got about $100,000 or more, and it's going to take you a little while. I wouldn't consider it cheap. I would consider that really smart. So we need a large stash of cash in this game. So what you want to do is in the next area, there's going to be 2 of these gray ninjas that spawn indefinitely, and I'll show you where it is. I was going to select another area to grind for money, but these melee ninjas were involved, so there's no way of doing it with these guys. But I will show you where 2 of these gray ninjas spawn every single time, and you kill 2, you backtrack, and you cross the tripwire point, and then you just repeat it because they'll spawn every single time. So after I go down here and save it, I'm going to show you where we can grind for some money. So this is an optional thing to do if you want to get a lot of money. What you do is you go over to this area here. There's going to be a guy with a rocket launcher shooting at you, but he's really not a threat unless you linger over there too much. He's not an issue. So jump to where I jump back. See, I almost got hit, but his aim's pretty bad. And then charge your red UT, and when you're doing the red UT, you can move the left analog stick to target other foes. It seems to work at like the beginning of the animation. You can choose what target you want to, and then as it ends, it pretty much focuses on whatever enemy it's going to focus on. But Very important to note that if you don't. So watch this. These guys are going to spawn again. I'm going to jump over to right there, jump back, get an on landing charge, and I believe this one misses the guy. Yeah, he somersaulted backwards, but yeah, the ET won't kill them. It normally will delimb them. If not, just keep charging up. Sometimes, oh, by the way, each red UT kill that you get, you'll get 490 essence, so it's almost $500 per kill. I believe the stronger your sword is, the more money you get. I'll have to confirm that. It's been my experience anyway. Pro tip right there: do the wind run by pressing what is it? X and A. Sorry, I had to look at my controller for a second. I'm not used to the Xbox controller. I'm a PS3 junkie. But anyway, you do a wind run to target the enemy, and then you do the flying swallow. Works a lot better. It's safer too. So there, I was trying to get my money. A moment ago, what I was saying was sometimes you'll get these two guys, and then for whatever reason, even though you don't recross the tripwire point, you're going to get a couple more guys spawning. So sometimes you might have 3 or 4 enemies, which is good. But you will get lag. I always get lag over here. So do this as much as you want to. Take advantage of this. Always take advantage of this game, because this game is never going to grant you any mercy, so don't grant the game any mercy. And never take any item for granted. Always be very great. Well, not just be grateful for whatever you get, but don't take it for granted. Always just be very frugal with what you're using, and try to do as well as you can. If you're not doing that well, just restart from the checkpoint. Here I was toying with the camera right there, but we cleared that guy. So you can potentially get about $1,000 every single time, so it's pretty good, and you can grind for as much money as you possibly want to. I'm gonna do it one more time over here. Trigger the guys over the tripwire point. Charge up. One thing I don't like about this game is that when the enemies are off screen, the camera doesn't pan away from you to indicate that the enemies are coming. So right there I was showing you the money count. Okay, when I get out of this screen here, you're going to see more enemies spawn here. It's because I started over and I grinded for money for quite a while. I ended up with 150,000 plus essence. So if I were you, I would get as much, if not more essence. So I got a couple of Ninpo drops too. That's why I'm using it here. I got a lot of money, as I said, but my health dwindled down to the breaking point almost. So I took out one of the guys up there by the crystal skull. This is the second crystal skull on this level, the final one of this level. So watch out for this guy. Throw shurikens at him if you have to, and then just take him down. They can be problematic when they're standing there here. So up ahead, this next section here, the first time I believe there's 2 archers across the gap, and I'm not even going to deal with these guys. So check it out right here. You see they drop in right there. There's 3 of them. I sped this footage up right here, and getting hit right there by that flaming arrow was enough for me to say, you know what, screw this. So this is all sped up footage of me just unspawning those enemies by running backwards. And here I'm scanning in, holding the left. What is it? The LB button. So once we go over this pole right here, watch as even more archers spawn here. So this is just cheap. That's just cheap shit. I'm not dealing with it. So if you're in a similar frame of mind, just go all the way back and unspawn them like I just did right there. Then when we cross again, boom, they're gone. Makes your life a lot easier. Plus, that's really cheap game design. Why put archers on the other side when we don't have any projectiles except for shitty shurikens? It's really bad. But anyway, so we're going to climb the ladder up here, and I'm doing this first. What you want to do is get the chest over here, and these orbs right here, these yellow essence orbs, that's $1,000 of essence. Now, if you want to try to get the bats and try to get a possible Ninpo drop or something, that's your own prerogative. Do what you like. But anyway, this next part needs a lot of discussion here. So you want to drop on down here. Sometimes you will get an enemy like right here. He'll be there, an IS ninja. Other times they'll just charge at you. I think there's 7 of these guys. So what you want to do is block it first and then throw them against the wall here. Throwing them against the brick wall won't kill them, but it will put them to the point where you can OT them. And it's really good. The guillotine throw, that's what you need to do on these guys. it gives you, it's the best move to do on these guys. It gives you iframes. So as you can see, I started off really good. I got a lot of the guys against the wall, but things went crazy here, as they always do. These fights are very hard to control and even harder to win. But if you get to just guillotine throw them, even if they don't hit the wall, sometimes they'll still. If you do it a couple times, they'll get delimbed. And then you want to get them into an executable state, then do the OT. The OTs work really well in the game. In this game, seems like they always give you a fair shake as far as prioritizing your own OT over theirs, which will kill you most times than not. Here's the Life of the Gods, and now we're going to go back and get some blue orbs. Now, if you want to, I don't know why you would though. You can come down here anytime you want to fight those same enemies. On warrior mode, those guys aren't there. They're just the regular ninjas. But here, those enemies do not. They're just way too hard to grind for money on. It just negates itself. The whole process is just futile. So I will be noting all the points in the game where you can grind for money. Up ahead is a really difficult fight, and I had 0 items to use. No Ninpo, as you can see right now. But I will be using one of the lives of the 1,000 gods that I got earlier in the chapter, just because this chapter proves very hard. But see that line I just crossed right there? That's the tripwire point. And the Grey Ninja got in my way right there. But what I like to do in this part is go back behind the building and charge an attack, just to get on firmer footing for this battle, because this is really difficult. And I didn't want to have to use this item, but this was the only way I could possibly heal myself in this pretty intense and long battle here with Grey Ninjas, IS Ninjas, and Mages here. So just kind of thread your way through the columns, and your biggest priority is to take out the Mages. So go over to them, do the wind run, and then follow that up with a flying swallow. What else is going on here? Yeah, this is just a very intense battle. It's very easy for things to go wrong, but when things go right, you feel really good. So get all your executions, and then I think more mages spawn over here. So there's quite a lot of these enemies here. So you see I'm throwing these guys into the wall to the point where I can start executing them. Yeah, this is always a hard fight, both on this game and on Sigma 2. So I got in a triangle parry right there. I couldn't follow it up with an Azuna drop since I don't have the blade up to level 2. This game works similarly to Ninja Gaiden Razor's Edge and Ninja Gaiden 3, where you have to upgrade your weapon of choice to level 2 in order to unlock the Azuna drop, which is I don't know how I feel about that. It would be nice to be able to do it right off the bat, like you can do it in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. But so yeah, you got to really watch out for these guys. So my priority here was the mage or anybody who was delimbed. So I'm going to delimb. So there we go. That was the fight. It was a very tough fight. Trust me, I didn't have any healing items except for that Lives of the 1,000 Gods. And you saw how it acted as like a grains of spiritual life, but it gave me all my health. Plus, it gave me an extension. So I am only going to be using half of the Lives of the 1,000 Gods. So once we cross this area down here, you definitely do want to save it at different intervals here. I'm gonna okay, so these mages pop up right away here, and there's no IS ninjas here. What we have here are Grey Ninjas and IS Ninjas. So your best bet is to go around and try to execute the mages with your flying swallow attack to get a beheading. You get it more often than not, and those guys right there, I'm not sure. Sometimes that second pair of ninjas weren't spawning for me, but that's just my bad luck, I guess, or maybe it's good luck since I got more money. You are going to see me do a lot of UTs in this game. I just reconsidered that. There are so many enemies in this game that A lot of the times, it's a really good idea strategy-wise to do UTs to do crowd control and clean up just a bunch of enemies. So this guide is mainly intended for. I'm not aiming this guide for the pros because they're better than I. I'm aiming this guide at the people who are struggling to beat this very difficult mode of play. So. And I myself haven't cleared it yet, so we will see the achievement pop up once I beat it. You really have to have a lot of confidence when you play this game. It's very intimidating, but it's a really excellent game. It gives you a lot of credit as far as like not holding your hand. It just assumes that you're good. I mean, you have the wherewithal to complete the tasks at hand, and they don't baby you whatsoever here. This fight's actually a lot easier than the Sigma 2 fight here. All you have here are these gray ninjas. I don't believe there is even just gray ninjas here. On Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, I believe there are, I know there's melee ninjas. There might even be mages too, but we are going to be facing some melee, some IS ninjas before the save point. And if you don't feel comfortable going over to the save point, if you don't feel comfortable progressing over to where the IS ninjas are, where Muramasa's shop is, just go back and save it. That's your greatest luxury in this game. You also want to, whenever these enemies are handicapped like that, you want to take advantage of them and do a UT to get the most money. Since they're just crawling around anyway, they can't harm you unless you get close to them. So there is $1,000 in this chest right here. It could be more. It might be 5,000. I didn't check. But do note that there are melee ninjas over here. I think there's just 2 of them here. I was expecting quite a lot more. These limbs that fly off, it's all random. Sometimes it takes a long time to delimb these guys. Other times, like one hit will delimb them. It's just random. But the higher up the weapon, the easier it is to kill and delimb enemies here. I decided to not purchase a single thing at this store. All I did was upgrade my 2 weapons. And once you drop down here, you want to keep tapping the Y button. His Y attack with the Lunar is an upward attack, so anything aerial above you like bats, it's your best move to do with the Lunar. Just keep tapping the Y button. And then we have 2 archers over here who are charging archers, meaning that that guy's a full-on charger right there. I didn't expect him to charge so quickly, but sometimes archers will stay in one spot and never charge you. These guys are the opposite. If you don't attack them, they'll come after you, and that's actually ideal because you can prepare your charge over here. The next chest over here contains it's either money or ghost fish. So there we go. And so from here on out, once we get down here, there's no backtracking to save it, so you really got to watch out until the next save point. Here I was running against the camera as per my normal custom in this area, just to show off. But I didn't buy a single thing at the store. I was relying on my 2 health items plus the 3 Ninpo that I acquired in the chest nearby where the Lunar is. So fortunately, no IS ninjas in this area here, but they are by the save point. They're your last little stand before the save point here. So now I can Izuna drop, and I love to twirl the camera around while I'm doing it. It's fun. So all we have here, we have several mages and a lot of gray ninjas. The gray ninjas are pretty fierce. They get progressively difficult as we progress, but these guys are still pretty challenging though. You don't underestimate them because they're pretty goddamn fast. But definitely prioritize the mages. I cast Ninpo right there, and you saw that I got an item, a magic drop, a health drop for doing that, which is really good. That's the whole point of this. I'm casting Ninpo to get magic drops, and I'm also trying to aim at the mages to get them out of the way. Chop that guy's head off right there. That was really good. If there's ever orbs around, like a pair of orbs is sitting there, just go ahead and do a red UT. You might as well. You need a lot of money in this game, seriously. And don't go hog wild at the shop, because Muramasa, he cranks up all his prices on this difficulty. On Master Ninja mode, the prices are at the absolute highest they can possibly be. So definitely bear that in mind. And yeah, so my best advice is to not go so hog wild purchasing stuff at his shop. Rely more on your skills, and also rely on the pickups that are on the map. You know, you could buy stuff occasionally, but just don't go overboard. That's always my mistake when I play this game. I buy too much stuff, and you waste a ton of money doing that. So I got the level 2 Lunar here, and I'm going to show you 2 UTs here. That's the traditional UT. This next one is the 360 UT. You rotate the left analog stick 360 degrees, and then hold down the Y button, and it does this attack right there. The only difference about that is that you don't have to make contact with the enemies to start in with that attack. It's really good. But this part's damn hard, so I like to save at least one Ninpo here, and this went pretty damn wrong for me. There's just not enough space to deal with these guys. What you ideally would want to do is smash the plants that contain the yellow essence, and then try to do a charge off that essence, which will give you an immediate red charge since there's 3 orbs. But there's so much chaos going on here that you know, that you can't always do. You're not always afforded the luxury of doing what you want in this game. But definitely try to Azuna drop. The Azuna drop, if you're stuck with an incendiary shuriken, or if they shoot one at you during the Azuna drop, the only time you could immune yourself and get out of it without taking any damage and get interrupted is when at the final end when he does the body slam. Alright, we got some really tough battles coming up. There's 2 big fierce battles, and I didn't have jack shit going into either one of these battles. In fact, that's exactly what I had. I had jack shit over here. I had no healing items, no Ninpo, no nothing. And I had to really focus on getting my success here via skill. So I'm smashing barrels to expedite charges. Now if you want to, when you open that door, you can cross the tripwire point, and then all the enemies will charge at you. And if you want to do a Lunar 360 UT charge, you can, or a Lunar... well, you have to have your Lunar at level 2 to be able to do that particular move, but you could definitely do a level 1 charge. So the only things I bought at the store, like I said, I upgraded both the weapons I have to level 2. It'll cost you 40,000 to do that. They each cost 20,000 each, but these fights are maddening here. They're so difficult, and then there's even a harder one after this. So I went into the next battle again with jack shit. All I had was half a life bar. You know, I shouldn't have wasted that Ninpo, but you know, I said, you know what, I'm gonna do these fights, and I'm gonna, you know, no matter how bloody they get, no matter how sloppy they end up looking, it's gonna be a victory, and I'm gonna be proud of it, because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters here is that you win. So I went down here desperately trying to get some magic here. I got a Devil's Way Mushroom. I cast it pretty early on. Let's see if I get somebody here. Yeah, I was looking to get... Oh, okay, plus I cast the Ninpo, plus I got another drop, so that was really good. Lucky me. But coming down into this corner here is... as you can see, visibility is not very good here. So, and then the enemies wouldn't charge me until I stepped out. But so yeah, I would really recommend having coming into this bit. Excuse me. I really underestimated how difficult this part was on Master Ninja mode. You see, I took out all the enemies here. I believe I get my health back pretty soon, but there might be a couple crawlers coming around. Yeah, there they are. Crawlers are good when they're handicapped and they're walking at a snail's pace. Just go away. Just distance yourself away from them and do a red UT. For the sake of the guide, I'm just gonna call when I say ET, that'll just indicate that it's a first level charge, and then I won't even say a red UT, because you'll know what a UT is, the red one. So it'll just make things a little bit more concise when I'm talking, but yeah, so the enemy should be cleared almost. Probably have a couple more guys that are handicapped. You have this guy right there. I think he was the final guy. Now definitely go back and save it after this. I'm going to leave. There was a little edit there where I saved it. And the next fight is triggered by going about 3/4 of the way up the stairs. And this is tough because we have everything here. We have mages. See that mage up there? Kind of glitching out up in the air right there. But he came down. The mages are probably, see all the lag here? I'm getting a bunch of lag here. And I'm going around corners to prepare a charge so that when the, see right here? So I'm going around the corner so that these guys can't stick me with incendiary shurikens while I'm charging, because it's probably one of the things that I detest the worst in this game. Getting interrupted in the middle of a charge and getting your charge broken because they're throwing incendiary shurikens. Those incendiary shurikens will break your charge the second they hit you. A lot of other parts in this game, they'll give it to you, like if enemies are shooting guns at you or hitting you, your charge doesn't get broken, but that's the one thing that always breaks your charge. See all this lag right here? It's nice to get some splash damage from a Nizuna drop. It's always good. You see right here? This was bullshit. I knew I had a couple of blue orbs hovering in the air, but the game never gave them to me, and I wasn't about to go back there where all the enemies were right away, not until I took care of this mage right here. But that was complete bullshit that those orbs didn't come into me. Sometimes that happens. You just have to, you see right there? I think the reason I was able to charge so quickly was because those blue orbs were down on the floor below me, and they wouldn't come into you. But you can always, do a charge, and you can absorb them, but you're not going to get any health. So that was really bullshit. But I still passed this section here. But man, oh man, is that tough? Try to do that without any items. That's really hard. And if you're, I hope no one's in the same situation. But if you have more items than I did, you'll be in for a much easier fight, because those two fights, those took me a long time, and I just stuck it out because that's the kind of type of gamer I am. I'll just keep playing until I win. Anyway, so now I'm gonna get the key card. I like the level design in this game. There's a lot more depth to the level design. Even simple little tasks like getting the card to open the door. Whereas in Sigma 2, the door is just already open for you. I like opening my own doors and stuff like that and getting things. So that guy, there's the guy right there. There's a trooper. He's sticking it out. Here's what I mean by locating a handicapped individual and then distancing yourself away from him and then doing a UT to get a bunch of money. That's the best thing to do. So now I'm going to go back downstairs and charge, but there's more enemies. It's a really good idea to scan the environment in this game to see what's going on. If you can't see, if you're far away from things, zoom in. Hold the LB button, and as you're holding that in, depress the right trigger. You'll be able to zoom in. See how I'm checking things out. It's a really interesting way to scan the environment. So I believe there's some more handicapped guys down here, because otherwise they would be rushing me for sure. Let's see what's going on down here. Yeah, they may have. I'm just going, room from room, making sure no one's left. No one's going to sneak up on me and kill me with an obliteration technique or something. So definitely save it right here. And then I sped this footage up. It's me just going to the door. I tried to make this guide as accessible and efficient as I can. Anyway, so here's the door where we're going to open. And there is even another hard fight coming up too. And again, I had nothing here. Look, that all the health right there, that amount of health, that's all I had for this fight up here. And I had no healing items. But the thing is, I knew there was a grains of spiritual life next to the save point if I needed it, and I believe I did need it here. So that's a tough charge to get off right there when those guys are that whole group of enemies is charging, and you got the IS ninjas throwing shurikens at you. Very tough. So I decided, you know what? To hell with it. Let me get some health over here. Let me open that box. But I think I had a couple problems opening the box over here. The game wouldn't respond to it, but normally it responds well enough for you. You've got an archer over there. Yeah, the guy grabbed me. I don't know how I survived this, honestly, but this was the point where I'm saying, let me heal myself. And I pressed start right there so I wouldn't have to exit that screen and potentially get killed, so I would be able to get healed during that screen right there, so it was really good. So yeah, you definitely want to at least upgrade both weapons to level 2, because you can do your Lunar 360 charge with the Lunar, and also you can start doing Azuna drops with this weapon if you want to, although it's kind of a different combination of button presses. But definitely I play better with the Dragon Sword, honestly, so it's always nice to at least have the Dragon Sword up to level 2 so I can start Azuna dropping foes. Whenever I can't do anything and I'm struggling, I'll bust out the Dragon Sword and I can perform so much better. It's just, everybody has one weapon where they're just better with it, so. And I think for a lot of people it is the Dragon Sword, but it could be something else for something. I mean, it could be some other weapon for somebody else. It could be the Tonfa that people are especially skilled at, and that's the weapon that they're best with. It's all a matter of what weapon you're best with. So anyway, that may be the last enemy here. So we're gonna hit the save point. We have another battle ahead, but the good thing is we can get ourselves healed over here and save our data. Okay, so yeah, this fight I triggered it by running up the wall vertically right there and charge an attack here. That's a really risky thing to do, but in theory it's risky, but there's really no risk since the checkpoint is right next to us right there. So you notice I switched to the Dragon Sword here because, as I said a moment ago, that's the weapon that it's always a weapon I know I could do better if I had this thing equipped and I'm struggling on a part. So did an Azuna drop right there. I'm going to execute anybody that I can. I'm throwing guys into walls here. Guillotine throw is a really good move. People will always tell you to do it, and they're telling you to do it for a reason, and I'm telling you too. It's the best move you could possibly do to immune yourself from getting shuriken stuck into you and taking damage, because the iframes are so excellent with that particular weapon. And don't let that whole iframe bullshit throw you and not let you play this game. You do have to manipulate those frames, but if you bring your skill to the table, you're not going to have to completely depend on little sections of the game where you can't succeed. So trust me, that was something that was going to throw me off, but I didn't let it, because I know I could hold my own on Master Ninja mode. So up ahead we have the boss. Okay, this is the Shadow Ninja Rasetsu battle, and of course this guy's got lackeys in this game. Most of all the bosses, they've got lackeys, and they're big time problems, and it's even worse when they're these IS ninjas here. So what you want to do is have the Lunar equipped, and if you can get a Lunar 360 UT, you could deal massive damage to this guy. Otherwise, just do normal UTs. That's what I'm doing here. Make sure you come here with plenty of Ninpo here, because I believe that there's an infinite number of these lackeys here, and this would be so easy if there weren't lackeys. But I saw that blue orb right there, and it took me a while to get over to it. But I knew it was on the map, and I can do a 360 Lunar UT attack. So I did it right there. Look how much damage that did. Excuse me. If that was on level 3, that Lunar, that guy would have been dead. So just keep throwing Ninpo. What I'm doing is I'm just casting Ninpo on the lackeys and then waiting for them to get engulfed in flames. Then once they drop their essence, then I charge. And normally you'll be somewhere around the boss and you can deal damage to him. So it's just I hate when bosses have lackeys. It just seems so superfluous. Like, why does the boss have to have a lackey? And we're going to have to deal with this fucking foe in the next chapter. Same exact situation with Shadow Ninja and a bunch of these melee ninjas here. It would be a lot easier if they weren't on the map, but see here how... okay, so once he's executable, just go into him and just tear that guy up. Here's all my stats from the level. I got over 300,000 essence, and it took me almost spent 8 hours on that stage. Now, obviously, it doesn't take 8 hours to clear that stage. It's about a 45 to 50 minute level, but as you can see there with the essence count, I got over almost 330,000 essence. So I actually had to buy quite a few items, 2 upgrades, and I ended up with I think about 180,000 karma points to carry me over into level 2. So we're kicking off the guide in grand fashion here. I hope everybody's enjoying the guide. Expect more chapters as I complete them, and I hope everybody is doing very well. And I hope that this guide is one that's going to be helpful to a lot of players who are struggling with this game, because it's definitely one of the hardest games ever made. And I'm here to help. So everybody take care. This is Big Benedict. I'm over and out.